Hey friends, Kevin here. I'm out and about in the mountains, and I wanted to talk about what I think are 5 of the best things about van life or doing a lot of van camping, van trips. So let's get to it. So right now I'm out here. I can hear nature. I've seen some wildlife. I have my handy bug zapper so I don't have to worry about mosquitoes, even though I think it's about to be too cold to have to worry about that tonight. So number 1 for me is freedom, or as a lot of people will say, it's liberating. And it is, because this gives me the freedom to travel basically anywhere. I don't have to worry about reservations. I can do things on the spur of the moment. I can find things kind of along the way on short notice. And doing that, I have been able to end up in some amazing places. I have camped on the sides of cliffs and under rocks and in caves, and I wouldn't have been able to do or experience any of that like the old days stuck in a hotel room. And because of being out to go those places, I have discovered a lot of other things that I wouldn't have discovered along the way. So I like the adventure, I like the freedom, I like the liberating part of this. Number 2, the low cost of living for people who are trying to do this full time. And just because someone does this full time doesn't mean they have to do this forever. But if it's working for them now, that's great. And while my home base is in an area where rents are not that bad, they have still, from what I have seen, climbed a lot over the last couple of years. And the things I see going on in cities, it is insane, and it is causing a homeless issue, especially among our older population. So if you can keep your vehicle well maintained, you can be out here and doing this really inexpensively. Now, it's going to be different, someone doing this in a more rural area and traveling, as opposed to someone that is having to work a real job and is having to do this in a more urban type setting, but nonetheless, it is doable. And even that person in the urban setting can save enough money that in their time off, their weekends off, their days off, whatever it happens to be, they can escape for that day or two, get out of the city, and get some peace, some tranquility. Number 3 is the minimalism, the minimalist part of van life. Every year I go out with less and less stuff, and I'm going to have a video coming up soon on what I am carrying this year, because I guarantee it will be less than I carried last year or the year before, and certainly much, much less than when I started doing this 8 or 9 years ago. But we all learn as we go with this. We learn to acquire things that serve more than one purpose, and we learn that there's a whole lot that we can get by with out here that we didn't think initially that we could get by with. And the minimalism part for me adds to that feeling of freedom, that feeling of liberation. Next is simply affordable trips. I can basically go anywhere at any time, and it really doesn't cost that much money. Now, I used to travel the other way where it cost me a tremendous amount of money, and this is what most people are accustomed to doing. So every overnight trip, you are at a $100 minimum, a lot of times closer to $200 now with inflation, just on a hotel room. Then you add in your cost of eating out, possibly your cost of air travel and car rentals and all of that other stuff, and it gets expensive fast. Now, my first real experience with this was 9 or 10 years ago. I decided to take off for a month. So 2 of us did that. We were in a car. I bought a tent, hoping to, campgrounds are going to be cheaper than hotels, and I was determined to stay gone for a month. And we did, and it was great, and we saw and experienced some amazing things, and it also cost me about $5,000 to be out for that month. And the majority of that cost was hotels, and even the places I camped, because I didn't know any better, I was paying way too much money for tent camping. The reality is, knowing what I know now, being self-contained in this van, I could take this exact same trip today, which took me 2/3 of the way across the country and back. I could do for probably less than 1/3, including all of the gas, all of the food, still being able to have admissions into things that I wanted to see and do. Much, much, much cheaper. So there's a couple ways to look at it. One is I could make that same trip for about 1/3 the money and not miss anything. Or two, I could spend that same amount of money and stay out for 3 or maybe 4 months. And imagine how much more enjoyable it would be to be able to travel at that slower pace. How much more I would be able to see. How many more great people I would be able to meet out on the road. That was a pretty good segue into number 5, the people you meet. Traveling has enabled me to see a lot of old friends, some relatives when I've been traveling because I can stop along the way. I don't have to put them out. I can stay around somewhere locally. Sometimes I can stay in their driveway or yard or something. I'm self-contained. They can do their thing. I do my thing. And then we have time that we get to hang out, have a good time, catch up on things. The new people I have met along the way, all the way from the East Coast here where I live, all the way into the West. And I've gotten to camp out with people I never would have imagined. I have gotten to meet people from other countries and camp with them. Soldiers that were here training from another country. Because of vans like this little minivan. I have got to meet people in Arizona and Utah and Oklahoma and just about all over, at least the 30 or so states I've been to. Thanks to some friends, Carl and Deborah, I got to experience a little bit of a Canadian Thanksgiving last year. There are just so many experiences that I would not have had, and the things that I remember most are things that are tied to the people that I met along the way. And that, to me, is the very best part of this. That's what keeps me trying to do some of it every year. So for anyone just starting out or thinking about getting into this, the images you have in your mind of adventure, which involves places and you being those places, all of that is great, but the memories that are going to be the strongest for you are going to be with the people that you met along the way. And that makes up what I think would be my top 5. But let me know in the comments, what are your top 5? Because yours may be different than mine. Yours may be in a different order than mine. Actually, if I reordered this list, I think the people I meet would actually be the thing that was number 1 on my list. Let me know what you think I got right. Let me know what you think I got wrong. And we'll talk soon.